Hi, this is Dr. Ernesto from Havana, Cuba, and I'm going to take you on a walking tour through Havana. This is the Cuban capital, el Capitolio. Este es el capital de Cuba, el Capitolio. Everything is pristine. It's a really pretty building. It's really well kept. They have guards around the building protecting it or keeping an eye on it. Lo mantienen bastante y hay mucho, lo mantienen muy bien, está muy limpio. Hay guardias aquí protegiéndolo todo. So here I am at night. I'm walking past the Capitol here. Beautiful building here in Havana, Cuba. I'm on my way to a salsa concert, open air. If you notice, all the people are walking to the concert. This is the main street here. There's no cars on it. So there's not a lot of driving because fuel is expensive for the average person, so that's not really an option. So most people are walking. And this is like the thing to do on Saturday night. Come here to downtown and go to this salsa concert. Estos carros viejos americanos son hermosos y están aquí donde quiera en Cuba. Este es el capital de Havana, Cuba, o del país. Mira qué bonito este lugar. Y voy caminando para acá a un concierto de salsa que está acá afuera, aire libre, aquí en Havana, Cuba. ¿Te das cuenta? Y no va mucha gente, pero todos están caminando, no hay carros. The views here are pretty awesome. You turn corners and then there's like, boom, these really cool architectural buildings that you don't really see all over the place. It's like, well, here in old Havana you do, everything looks like this. It's really old and pretty. And I see quite a bit of tourists here. Not that many, but it seems like they're mostly European. I haven't seen too many Americans. Although a lot of them do come here because we have direct flights now from the US. So it's not a big deal to come here anymore. I paid for a tourist card to come over here and it cost me $17. Online I saw they were like $100, so I don't know what the deal is, but I bought it coming from Colombia and they just charged me $17 for it. Pero tú sí tomas el agua de la llave? Pues lo mismo, ¿que no? I mean, viene de la ciudad. ¿No? Ah. Okay. Vamos a ver si puedo tomar el agua. Si puedo tomar el agua de la llave. ¿No me voy a enfermar? ¿No me enfermo del estómago? No, no me va a dar bichos. ¿Eh? Gracias. Ah. This is the National Palace. Seems like all the buildings look like this. They look like they're old Spanish structures. This house is dedicated to the Mexican and Cuban friendship they have. So it's full of typical Mexican art from all over Mexico. It's interesting because Mexico is a very diverse place. There's a lot of different cultures. There's hundreds, possibly thousands of different languages they speak. And so the culture is very diverse. And the art in Mexico varies quite a bit by region. And this is an interesting room because they've been able to capture some of the highlights. Some of the stuff that you see in Mexico that they're really famous from Guadalajara. And they have it all in this room here on display. And it's really nice to see they were able to assemble all this stuff. And it all looks authentic. It's all from Mexico. Cuban Museum of Fine Arts. Este es el Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes. Está enfrente del Museo de la Revolución. It's right across the street from the Museum of the Revolution. Look at this beautiful car here. Ese carro hermoso. So this is the Museum of Fine Art, el Museo de Bellas Artes, aquí en Havana. El Jardín Exterior. This is the external garden, and they have like a few sculptures here. Looks like it's mostly like modern art. And we'll go up into the second floor, and that's where they have all the art pieces. En el segundo piso es donde tienen la mayoría de las obras de arte. So vamos a seguir para arriba y mirar el segundo piso. La Galería de Arte, Museo de Bellas Artes, arte moderna, modern art, courses like Castro, art pieces. Collection of art of local artists. Es como una colección de arte de artistas cubanos. Shit. Damn. So that's the cañonazo here in Havana, Cuba. They do it every night at 9 o'clock. Ese es el cañonazo que hacen aquí en Havana, Cuba. Cada noche a las 9 de la noche. Como una hora el show. Están bailando y haciendo todas estas cosas. It's about an hour-long show of like ceremonies and marching and stuff. This is the Plaza de Armas. Esta es la Plaza de las Armas. Hay muchos edificios antiguos aquí, y árboles grandes. So puedes estar aquí en la sombra al mediodía cuando está haciendo calor, descansar. You can chill out here in this park. There's a bunch of these little museums around here. There's scores of museums around the city. Hay muchos museos de toda la ciudad que muchos se cierran el domingo, pero fuera de eso nomás cuestan como 10 pesos. Es como 8 centavos. So there's these museums all over the city, small ones like these. Most of them are closed on Sunday. They charge them about 10 pesos, which is around 8 cents or something. So this is the Plaza de Armas. It's a nice place to hang out midday when it's really hot. So cuando está haciendo calor como ahorita, es buen tiempo para venir aquí a la Plaza de Armas y tomar una distancia. Aquí está la bahía y el morro allá afuera. So it's right next to the bay here, and then there's the castles out on the side there. This is the Almacenes de San Jose. It's a souvenir market where they sell all kinds of different stuff. Este es el Centro Cultural Almacén de San Jose, donde venden artículos como turísticas, como para llevar a la casa. Oh, cool. Hola. Hola, buenas tardes. No cigars. So you can buy all sorts of souvenirs in here. Muchos artículos, recuerdos de Cuba. Aquí. So you can go walk through here and take a look around. See all kinds of interesting stuff that people sell. Oh, this is a cool place. Hi. Tipos de cosas típicas de Cuba. So this is old Havana, oldest part of the city. Esta es Havana Vieja, la parte más antigua de la ciudad. You see all the old architecture, la arquitectura vieja. Aquí es mucha actividad, mucha gente. There's a lot of activity on here. People walking around, people selling stuff. People set up these little shops where they sell stuff out of their houses. Gente venden cosas de sus casas, bebidas y cosas. Hola, jugo de guayaba? ¿Me da uno, por favor? So she's selling guayaba juice and cigarettes. Ella está vendiendo jugos de guayaba y cigarros. So these are the shops that they have here. There's no stores. All there are people selling stuff like this out of the house, but it's very limited. They sell like, okay. Oh, cool. ¿Tú lo hiciste? Oh, ¿lo hierves? Ah, qué bueno. ¿Tiene azúcar? Muy rico. Gracias. So she made this homemade guayaba juice. So she boiled it. ¿Qué tiene? Jugo y agua y qué más? ¿Azúcar? ¿Qué tiene azúcar? Se mira rico. So this is how it looks in Havana, Cuba at night. The streets are pretty dark. There's electricity, but there aren't very many street lights, if any. In fact, it's pretty dark. And there's music playing everywhere, which is kind of cool. So there's somebody's house. They're playing dominoes, and they're like drinking beer and stuff. People are cool. They're real social. You can look into everybody's house. You can see everybody just sitting in the living rooms there. As you walk by, like people are just sitting, like in groups of people, and they're just like socializing. There's not a lot to do actually. So people are just kind of walking around. It's 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Now this street has a little bit more light on it. I'm in the main tourist part too, so there is a concert I'm walking to. It's maybe a mile away, so I'm gonna walk over there, hang out for a little while. This is what it looks like. It's pretty quiet, pretty mellow. All right, so this is the Malecón de Havana, Cuba. This is the Malecón de Havana, Cuba. Vienen toda la gente en las tardes a caminar. People come and walk along here every night in the evenings when it cools down. Ahorita en el día está un poquito caliente, está vacío, pero en la noche sí salen toda la gente a caminar. At night people come to walk around when it cools down. If you look across the bay there, You can see the lights to Miami. Really, that's how close we are. I think we're like 80 miles or something like that. Pretty close. So puedes mirar aquí afuera y en el fondo miras las luces de Miami. Estamos cerca, como 80 millas, ¿verdad? Muy cerca. Oh, 45 millas, 45 miles. Really close. So this malecón, this boardwalk is about 4 kilometers long. 4 kilómetros este malecón, ¿verdad? Es 4 kilómetros de largo. This is the view all along the famous malecón here. La vista por el famoso malecón de Havana. 9 kilómetros. Oh, okay. So from start to finish, he said it's 9 kilometers long. Chevrolet over there. A 54 Bel Air. Y este es un 55, ¿verdad? Okay. Bel Air también. Okay, Chevrolet Bel Air. Oh, ¿qué es eso? ¿La embajada americana? ¿Sí? Oh. There's the Mexican embassy over there. I mean, sorry, the American. There's the American flag. ¿Está abierta? Okay, there's the American. Okay, the embassy of the United States of America. Right there, la embajada americana. Some Marines out there. Okay. This is the malecón at night. Hanging out here with people, talking, fishing. Real quiet here by the ocean. Y en el malecón de noche, gente nomás se sientan a platicar, a pescar. Hoy mira el cañonazo a las 9. I just heard the cannons go off at 9 o'clock. Here we are rolling along the boardwalk in Havana, Cuba in a 55 Chevrolet Bel Air. Aquí estamos con David manejando por el malecón de Havana, Cuba en un Chevrolet Bel Air 55. No. ¿De veras? Oh, wow. Okay. It says the engine is a Toyota engine because ya no pueden encontrar las partes, huh? Can't find the parts. So I had to replace it with a Toyota engine. That's funny. Oh, okay. Fidel Castro, huh? So this is the front of the Museum of Revolution. Este es el frente del Museo de la Revolución. Hay una iglesia bonita al lado. There's a really pretty church on the side. but it's closed, está cerrado. Y este es el Museo de la Revolución de enfrente. This is the front of the Museum of Revolution, and it's closed. They said it's been closed for about 2-3 years due to restoration, and they don't know when it's gonna open. They said it could be another 2-3 years. So, dicen que estado cerrado como 2-3 años. Y no saben cuándo va a abrir el Museo de Revolución. Puede ser como otros 2-3 años. Y este es un carro Lara. Es de Rusia, es un carro antiguo. Y ellos los tienen muchos aquí porque estaban patronizados por los rusos aquí. Y estos son los últimos modelos de los carros americanos que tuvieron aquí de los 50. So these are the last model of American cars that they were able to import legally in the 50s. And then these white cars, of course, are the Russian Ladas, since Russia was the sponsor of Cuba. This goes out to the bay here, this plaza. And you'll see some castles up in front. Esto se va a la bahía. Aquí enfrente hay varios castillos. This is the Museum of Revolution. There's a big boat in here that used to belong to Castro. Este es el Museo de la Revolución. Y hay un barco aquí. Ese barco es de Fidel Castro. Dice Patria Nueva. Hay aquí unos misiles. There's like tanks and missiles, tanques. Things I guess were used during the revolution here in Cuba. Artículos de la Revolución. And there's like old Cuban planes, aviones viejos, cubanos, carros. Hay unas cosas que puedes caminar aquí y mirar de la revolución cuando se hizo comunista el país. There's different vehicles and stuff you can look at here from when the country became communist. So you can walk through this park and it's free to get in here. Es gratis entrar a este Museo de la Revolución. Y al frente está el Museo de Bellas Artes. Right across the street is the Museum of Fine Arts. So you can walk right over as part of your walking tour. That's the Spanish embassy over there. And in the back there, you have the Museum of the Revolution. This looks really pretty from outside, but you can't get in. They said it's been closed for like 3 years. They're rebuilding it. And I asked the guard when he thought they'd be done. And he said because of the country's financial situation, he doesn't think it'll be done for about another 3 years. And it just looks like they're doing kind of minor work outside. It looks like they have some scaffolding. And they're probably just like repainting the structure. But I guess there's limited maybe resources for some materials, building materials. So I was here in Cuba about 10 years ago, and in general the people seem just a little more upbeat than they do this time. It looks almost the same, it hasn't really changed much, which is kind of interesting, except that people all have cell phones now. That's a big difference. Nobody had cell phones back then, and there was no internet. So you're blacked out. There's internet here, but it's pretty slow. It's like 1G. You know, we're like on 4 and 5G in the States, so it takes a long time to download messages. You have to buy like a little card so you can load like internet onto your phone. So the guy that I live with, the family, he's been giving it to me off his phone, but it's not very good. It's really slow. So I haven't even been able to like download messages or anything. There's a lot of young people here, so they still have a real high population growth rate. And it seems like there's like nothing to do. They're just all kind of hanging out. So it's kind of nice. They're socializing. So people are real friendly. I can see why there's a lot of time to socialize. A lot of people are playing soccer. All over actually, a lot of men playing soccer. That seems to be the sport here that people like. So this is Fooster. que es el fuster. Las casas tienen como mucho arte de cerámica afuera. Están decoradas. That's a nice big one there. El mejor amigo, huh? Chavez. Oh, cool.
Acá es su casa, ¿ves?
¿Casa qué?
Casa Fuster.
Oh, es la casa Fuster.
Ahora vamos a entrar ahí. Ven, entramos por aquí.
Oh,
Vamos a virarlo para parquear.
okay. The Fuster neighborhood in Havana, Cuba. They decorate all the houses here. Oh, this place is pretty big. Oh, cool. $2,000 US. Pretty pricey. Yeah, so venden aquí en dólares. $3,000. Es una galería de arte. La casa de alguien aquí. Mosaics all over. Alright, so here's your view from the top level. Booster land. There's mosaics, everything. Here. Takes a lot of work to do all this stuff. There's a pool there. The view's pretty awesome. See some of the details here. You can see the neighbor there doing the same thing. And that other neighbor just over there. was about 20 minutes driving. I had to hire a private car, charged me $20 to get here. Es como 20 minutos de Havana, es cerca. Y pagué como $20 para el taxi, para ir a la regresada. This is Ernest Hemingway's house, Finca Vigía. Es la casa de Hemingway. Se llama la Finca Vigía. And I came on a shared 1950s like taxi. It was pretty cool, and it was about 150 pesos to come over here. Vine en un taxi compartido, un carro antiguo de los 50s. Y nomás me cobraron 150 pesos y era como 20 minutos. It's about a 20-minute drive over here. Es una casa. Entonces, arriba está la casa principal de Ernesto Hemingway, escritor americano. This is Ernest Hemingway's house here in Havana, Cuba. Buenos días. Has a big garden all around the house. Un jardín grande fuera. Buenos días. ¿Esa es la casa principal? Ah, ok. Ok, ¿y esa era las casas donde vivían los trabajadores?
No, ahí es donde él escribía.
Oh, él escribía.
Los gatos, abajo de la carpintería era un baño para la población.
Oh, ¿tenía muchos gatos?
57 gatos hablados de él.
Whoa, he had 57 cats, and that's where he used to hang out.
Para los que lo cuidaban.
Okay, and he had una doméstica que le daba. He had one servant that would help him. They lived at the bottom. That's where he would hang out and write up on top there. This was his house. Okay. Oh, tumba de perros. ¿Cuántos perros tenía? 4 perros, 57 gatos. 4 dogs, 57 cats. Ahí es donde él tenía visita en la casa principal y ahí era para escribir arriba. Ok, acá abajo es la alberca. Barco. Oh, y también peleaba Bahín de Gallos. Cancha de tenis, cementerio de los perros. Okay. Pet cemetery. All right, gracias. Okay, gracias. Gracias. All right, so now we're heading back down towards the cockfighting area in the swimming pool. Acá es donde peleaban los gallos. Tienen la alberca. Ernesto Hemingway. Cool. Aquí está su alberca. Oh man, what a nice pool. Look at that. Surrounded by that forest here. This is so cool. Mira qué bonita, profunda esta alberca. Wow, aquí en el bosque. Okay, here's like a changing room, looks like. Un lugar para cambiarse. Y baja, se mira, ya está la entrada a la propiedad. That's the entrance. Okay, oh, there's this pet cemetery. El cementerio de los perros. Black, Negrita, Linda y Nerón. Oh, cool. Alright, and here's his boat. His fishing boat, Pilar. Okay. Y el barco de Ernest Hemingway. Oh, man. Buenos días. Aquí es el barco de Hemingway. El yate era para pescar. El Pilar pescaba pescado. O escribía libros aquí. Wheeler, okay. All right, so aquí se iban al mar para escribir. Whoa, that's cool. You go on this boat out to the ocean to write, to rest, to just hang out. ¿Viste? Oh, yeah. Oh, sí, le gustaba tomar mucho rum. Okay, so he would fish on top here and he'd hang out and drink. That was his bar. Says he was an alcoholic. Okay, it's called Pilar, the Virgin of the Fisherman. Pilar, This is Ernest Hemingway's office. La oficina de Ernesto Hemingway, Aquí escribía. So you had a telescope there. Un telescopio. Ahí escribía. Ernesto. Got some reference books there, unos libros para referencia. Y una foto de él matando animales. Picture in there killing animals. And I got a cool view up here. Lots of birds and forest around here. Really cool. And there's like another level that goes up. It's like the observation deck. Otro nivel arriba es como observación. Está cerrado. Got a cool view up here. This is Ernesto's office. Alright, so this is Ernesto's hunting room where he kept all his gear. Es el cuarto de Ernesto Hemingway donde guardaba todo su equipaje para cazar. Le gustaba cazar. Tenía sus pistolas y los animales que él mató. Y para pescar aquí, fishing gear, and like spears, there's fishing gear over there. And he's got like guns and stuff for hunting. And he got a bunch of pictures up on top there of himself where he's hunted some animals. And he has the horns of some of these guys he killed. There's some knives. There's a bear and a tiger. Okay, so muchos diferentes tipos de animales aquí. Equipo para pescar y para cazar. And then of course he has his high equipment here. That's a sport they play in Spain. It's pretty popular. They played in Tijuana. There's a high stadium in Tijuana, Mexico. Es el equipo para jugar el juego high de España. Es muy popular en Tijuana, México. Tiene un estadio muy grande. Ernest Hemingway le gustaba jugar high. Living room. La sala de la casa principal. Ahí está otro cuarto. So you can just look at the house from the outside. There's a lot of tourists here now, so hay mucho turista aquí ahorita, so no se puede mirar de las ventanas de afuera. Pero me gustaba cazar bastante muchos animales en las paredes. You like to hunt quite a bit. You can see all the different animals in the walls. He hunted. Lots of books everywhere, typewriters, muchos libros, máquinas para escribir. This looks like the guest room. Yeah, 2 guests right there, and again more animals on the wall. More books. Más libros en las paredes, que es como la cuarto de la visita. Hay más animales en las paredes que él cazó. Y dos camas. Y ahí enfrente está la sala. Stuffed animals, más animales, muchos más libros aquí. Es el escritorio donde él escribía, la casa principal. Pretty bathroom. Baño. Scale. The wooden countertops. And that goes into his, looks like the master bedroom over there. See his bed off in the corner there. And he has like a sitting table in his bedroom. So aquí está la entrada de la casa, anyway, la casa principal. Acá está el bungalow. So this is the bungalow where Hemingway's children would stay when they come visit him. And this is the entrance to the main house. This is the main house where he lived. And then he has like a courtyard here where he hang out. It's a beautiful house. It has a lot of trees around here, birds. Muy bonito el ambiente todo alrededor de la casa. Hay muchos animales, pájaros, muchos árboles. Muy lindo. And this is the living room, la sala de la casa principal. Que no es muy amplia, pero es muy bonito y muy cómodo. Y acá atrás que es una parte donde pueden tener como fiestas o algo. Acá arriba hay como otro, ahí está como la cocina. So that's like the kitchen back there. That's like the dance hall there and a nice spacious living room. So it's not exceptionally big, but it's very comfortable, the space. And it's spacious. You could have guests and entertain and stuff. Again, you can hear all the birds. There's todos los pájaros alrededor. There's the bungalow where his kids would stay. So that house looks like it's being worn out. La casa donde se quedaban los hijos de Hemingway. Ahí están las cisternas donde guardaban el agua. Y arriba, that's his water tower. And he has more cisterns there for water. So this is the Cathedral of Mary, the Virgin Mary, Catedral de la Virgen María. Hola. It's pretty. It has this pretty courtyard on in front. Aquí enfrente de la iglesia. Hay más museos. Mira, estos son gratis aquí. El Museo de Arte Colonial. There's a Museum of Colonial Art right in front. That's free to get in. And there's other like antique buildings here in front of the church. Look at that, it's really pretty. And it's Sunday, it's closed, so I don't think they have mass here, but it is a really pretty church to check out. Es el domingo y no miro que hay servicio ahora. Pero sí está muy bonito la María, la iglesia de la Virgen María. So right across there is the National Theater of Havana, and then there's the Central Park right in front of it. Y está el Teatro Nacional de Havana y el Parque Central enfrente. Caminas por acá, you walk right across here, and then here's one of the more famous spots. Caminas aquí directo y vienes a uno de los sitios más famosos, que es la barra en el Floridita. And this takes you to El Floridita Bar, one of the most famous places here in Havana. This is where Ernest Hemingway, the writer, used to hang out and drink and write. And they have his actual chair where he used to sit. They call it one of the seven most famous bars of the world. Aquí es donde se sentaba el escritor famoso Ernesto Hemingway, y él le gustaba sentarse aquí a escribir y Dicen que es uno de los 7 más famosos barras del mundo. Y aquí está, en el centro de Havana, and right in the middle here of Havana with all the old cars driving around. Look at that. So you can go in here and hang out. There's of course, there's a waiting list to get in. So everybody wants to go in there. Claro que hay una fila para entrar, porque el lugar es muy famoso. ¿Allá es donde se sentaba? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay, gracias. And that's where Ernest Hemingway used to sit. Ahí se sentaba Ernest Hemingway. Cool. Go ahead, go. You're good, you're good. There's a picture of Hemingway there with Castro. Una foto con Castro ahí con Ernest Hemingway. So in the past when I'd come here, homosexuality was illegal in Cuba. En el pasado cuando venía a Cuba era ilegal la homosexualidad, pero ahora se tienen hoteles que están invitando huéspedes homosexuales. Now they even have flags welcoming gay travelers, so the place has become a lot more progressive. Look at this collection of beautiful cars here. Mira estos carros, qué hermosos, de los 50. Esos son taxis, los puedes alquilar y te llevan a cualquier lugar. Llevan en tours de la ciudad. Mira, these cars, you can hire them, taxis, and they'll give you a ride all over town. You can actually rent them yourself, but I don't recommend them because they say they break down quite a bit and they're pretty expensive. It's actually cheaper just to get a taxi. Los puedes alquilar, pero no es recomendable porque se descomponen y es costoso. Es mucho más barato nomás alquilar un taxista que te lleve por la ciudad. Okay, so this is definitely the most happening part of the city. Esta es la parte más popular de la ciudad. Aquí termina el Paseo del Prado. This is where the Paseo del Prado ends, in front of this hotel here, and then you're here in Central Park. Llegas aquí al Parque Central de la ciudad. Y aquí es donde tiene muchos conciertos de noche. This is where they have a lot of concerts at night. So it's the most famous walkway here in Havana. La parte principal aquí en Havana, donde hay mucha gente caminando. Y aquí es el Teatro Nacional, donde puedes ganar boletos para ver obras de arte cada noche, como bailes y cosas así. So this is the National Theater of Havana, where you can come in the evenings. You can buy tickets in the mornings, and they have shows every night, like plays and operas and stuff like that. And this takes you over to the capital of Cuba, the Capitol building. Este te lleva aquí al capital de Havana, del país de Cuba. So todo está aquí en esta parte, y al fondo hay otro parque. So at the end, on the other side of the Capitol, there's another park. And this is like the main drag. We can see all the cool old cars. You can hang out. You can have lunch here, and you can buy tickets here for the theater. So aquí puedes comer, puedes caminar, puedes cansar, y puedes comprar boletos aquí para el teatro para la noche. All right, so here's the salsa concert. Salsa, concierto de salsa. Y mucho alcohol de venta. There's lots of alcohol. They got popcorn and corn on the cob tea. Tienen palomitas y maíz para comer. Granizado, or snow cones. And then there's a lot of like pork sandwiches. También hay como sándwiches de puerco, pero muy poco. No hay mucho comida de venta. Not a lot of food for sale around here. It's mostly like alcohol and just music, just hanging out. So I don't see a lot of foreigners here. No muchos extranjeros. So just off to the side here, the National Theater, aquí al lado del Teatro Nacional, hay esta calle que se llama San Rafael. The street's called San Rafael, and it's full of shops and restaurants, and it's shaded, so a lot of people walk here and hang out during the day. Está en la sombra, y aquí camina mucha gente el día para ir a restaurantes y a tiendas, pasar el día. So it's a good place to walk, even at night actually. After the concerts, there were people hanging out here, drinking and socializing. So it's kind of like a 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. Hasta la noche, después de los conciertos, aquí estaban mucha gente juntándose, caminando, a tomar y comprar comida. Es como un lugar donde se sientan mucha gente a platicar y socializar. El San Rafael. It's called San Rafael Street. So close to here to the Plaza de las Armas, cerca de la Plaza de las Armas, aquí está Castillo de la Real Fuerza. Right next to it is this castle, the real Forest Castle. And you can go inside this one, and it's overlooking this other castle across the bay there. So puedes entrar a este castillo. Enfrente hay otro castillo ahí y el mar. Aquí está el agua alrededor del castillo. Has a moat all around it. Some old cannons, unos cañones antiguos para mirar. Muy similar a Puerto Rico, Cuba. Has a lot of similarities to Puerto Rico. Y ahí enfrente está el Cristo Rey de Havana. There's the Jesus Christ of Havana. He's protecting the city of Havana, protectando la ciudad de Havana. Entonces ahí está otro morro, castillo al lado. There's another castle there to the side. I'm inside of this old castle here, and I'm looking out onto the bay, and I see more old castles. Here I am in Cuba, a little mellow place. I look up over this bay, and I see another castle just across from me here. Nice big one. Another castle down at the end there. A lot of these castles. This is Playa del Este, es la Playa del Este. Puedes llegar fácil en 2 buses que valen 2 pesos cada uno, menos de un centavo americano. You take 2 buses, pretty easy to get here, and it's 2 pesos per bus. Here's the Playa del Este. You can hang out here and rent seats and go kayaking. Este es el Mar del Este, no puedes rentar sillas y kayaks y quedarte acá en la playa todo el día. Oh, the water's so clear. So this is the Paseo del Prado. It goes right through the heart of Havana. Es el Paseo del Prado que va por el centro de la ciudad de Havana y te lleva ahí capital. It takes you straight to the capital. Aquí se juntan mucha gente para fiestas, ven en arte en día. People get together here for parties. They sell food here, they sell art. Tienen conciertos, they have concerts. Anoche vine aquí por una fiesta bien grande de salsa que se llenó todas las calles. Last night I was here for a salsa concert and it was completely full with people partying over and drinking. And it takes you all the way straight down to the middle of the city where the capital is. It's also a nice place to walk during the day and look at the art. También es un parque bonito para caminar entre el día, para mirar el arte en camino aquí al capital y se junta mucha gente. These are some of the more historic buildings here. And there's a lot of people hanging out, socializing, and chatting, and just kind of trying to escape the heat. During the day, it's kind of quiet because it's hot. But in the evening time, there's electricity, but I don't think very many people have televisions. So they kind of just come out and they sit out here and they talk and they socialize. The people are really friendly, very social. A lot of locals, as you're walking through, they come up and they try to spark up conversations with you. So they're very friendly and it's pretty safe here. I haven't seen anything or heard of any kind of violence here or robbing or anything like that. It's highly controlled. There's a lot of police and like military guys hanging around. So people are pretty well behaved. And like you can see the buildings here, the architecture is really pretty. Here's the Jews here with their fancy old cars. So you don't see very many lights on, but they do have electricity. I think just because the buildings are old, they don't have a lot of light fixtures like a lot of modern buildings do now. So I think when most of these buildings were built, they probably didn't have electricity. So they just don't have the infrastructure in place for the lighting. Okay, this is another famous bar called La Bodeguita del Medio. You'll see the sign there, the yellow sign on the left. Otra cantina famosa, La Bodeguita del Medio. Aquí mira ese letrero a la izquierda. Es famoso porque era la única cantina que tenían adentro de la ciudad antigua, adentro de la muralla. Y también porque venía Ernest Hemingway aquí. So this place is also famous because it's the only bar that was inside the walled city, the old city. And Ernest Hemingway also used to hang out here. Done some pictures there, some famous people that hang out there. You can see it's a cool vibe. People playing music. Some more. ¿Tiene restaurante arriba? ¿Restaurante arriba? Comer. ¿Ah? Uno. ¿Hay restaurante arriba? No, ahorita no, nomás en la tarde. ¿Qué horas tienen? ¿Qué horas tienen? Ok, gracias. So this is the bodeguita. Aquí está la bodeguita. Aquí viene mucha gente famosa a comer en Havana. Y hay gente jugando música en viva enfrente. Oh, cool. Y también acá arriba. This is the Havana Rum Museum. Ese es el museo del rum de Havana Club. Nada es el rum. This is the San Francisco de Assisi's courtyard. And it's right next to the Havana Club Rum Museum. And it's a nice stop on your way up to the other places during your walking tour. You can see here how beautiful this church is. It's very pretty. I think it's closed today maybe because we're getting ready for Mass later, but it's a very nice courtyard. You get to see some of the nicer buildings here. It's on the way. Este es la iglesia de San Francisco de Assisi, que está al lado del Museo del Rum Havana Club. Es muy bonito, antiguo y es en el camino, está al lado del Museo del Rum y es parte de la caminata, es muy linda. We're closer to the Capitol building, it's Chinatown, Barrio Chino, but I don't see any Chinese around here. Maybe it's just they have this monument here, and I haven't seen any Chinese restaurants either, but this is the Chinese neighborhood here. Here's Old Havana, and here's from the bay here. Here's a guy here talking the cell phone. Another castle. There's another one of those classic cars. There's a lot of these old cars from the 50s, but last time I was here about 10 years ago, that's mostly what you saw. Now I see a lot of old cars from like the 70s as well, and that's probably the majority. They're the old Lada cars. Those are Russian cars. So maybe they just had them in the countryside, or maybe they started importing them from Russia. I'm not sure, but that seems to be the bulk of the cars that they have here now. So you see a lot of young people here, and it's kind of interesting because in a lot of these developing countries, you know, Cuba, India, etc., they still have really high population growth rates. And what's ironic is that, you know, in the wealthier countries like the US or in Europe, especially in the US, you know, we have a lot of obesity. A lot of other wealthy countries also. And people are drinking out of plastic bottles and eating processed food. So they're actually getting a lot of toxins in their body, and their sperm counts is dropping. And that's causing people's birth rates to drop in the developed world. Now in the developing world, countries like this, people don't get access to as much food, but they're eating fresh food. And it's actually a good thing, because the less you eat, the healthier you are actually. Of course, unless you're malnourished, but they tend to not be malnourished. They tend to just eat enough that they're healthy. So people look real healthy. There's no obesity here. And they're not eating a bunch of processed food or food made with packaged in plastics. So they're not having these issues with decreasing sperm rates that we're having in other countries. So here's the inside of another castle. I'm snacking on this peanut bar I bought right now, and it's really good. Buenas tardes. ¿Anuelta? Yeah. Ah, aquí está mi barrio donde me estoy quedando en Havana, Cuba. Y te recomiendo, si vas a hacer una reserva, que lo hagas antes de llegar, porque no hay muy bueno internet aquí y a veces no tienes acceso, o sea, no puedes hacer reservas. En línea los cuartos eran como $20 la noche, pero ya que llegué aquí son como 25 o 30 la noche. Hay hoteles también, pero nunca me he quedado en hoteles. A veces he quedado con familias, pues me gusta vivir como viven la gente del país. So, aquí está mi casa, que es mucho más bonito de antes. Ahora tiene mucha electricidad, hay poquito internet, hay celulares, yo tengo televisión y aire acondicionado, aunque no lo uso. Aquí es el negocio de la familia. Muchas familias tienen negocios, venden como cosas para fiestas aquí. Y aquí vive el dueño y su esposa, de cámara y baño. Aquí está la casa. So, aquí estamos es como el hallway. Esta es la sala familiar donde nos juntamos a platicar, compartir. Es la computadora que tienen. Aquí están los muchachos, los niños. Aquí está la señora, su mamá, haciendo cosas para el negocio. Hola. Ahí arriba es donde se lava la ropa. Y aquí hay la cocina. Cocinamos la comida. Y están los perritos que están ahí. Hola. So, todo regular. Aquí está mi recámara. Está bonito. Tengo baño privado. No hay agua caliente, pero no uso agua caliente, eso no importa. Electricidad, hay todo lo que necesito. Muy cómodo. Tengo una cama para 2 personas y puedo traer visitas si quiero. Hay televisión, hay aire y hay enfriador, aunque los desconecté, pero no se ha necesitado. No es tan caliente aquí ahorita, aunque sí hace mucho calor a veces. Pero es mucho mejor no usar aire porque te causa otros problemas de salud. So, esta es mi casa aquí en Cuba. Es $25 la noche. So this is my neighborhood where I'm staying here in Havana, Cuba. I like to stay in people's homes. They have hotels here you can rent. And I recommend you do it before you get here. Do it on hotels.com or whatever website you use, because they were $20 on there. Once you get here, the internet connections are not very good. You won't be able to do any booking or anything like that here. So I got here, I didn't book, and I had to pay $25. It's not a huge difference, but they were $20 online. So this is the way my place looks. And this is actually really nice, much nicer than last time I got here. Now they have things that people often like TVs and air conditioning, fans. And they have a business here, the host. They sell party supplies. That's the name of their company. Here's the home. It's the living room here. And then my host has a computer, there's a kid, there's his mother-in-law, and then there is like a laundry room, washing clothes and stuff. And this is the kitchen, we have a little kitchen here. And there's Pekingese, what's up dude? And here's my room here. I live here with the family, I have a little bathroom. It's cool, it's water. Everything works. Of course, no hot water. I don't use hot water anyways. It doesn't matter. No problems with electricity. I have a full-size bed here. I'm allowed a guest if I want to bring a guest. And then I haven't used it, but I have an AC, I have a TV, I have a fridge, I just connected everything on the fan, I don't use it. The weather is not terribly hot here. Here's my stuff. And I'm able to get Wi-Fi because there's a restaurant right next door. And the restaurant has a good signal. So the owner was gracious enough to get the password for me. And the signal just happens to reach here into my room. So I have a Wi-Fi signal and I'm able to do some basic stuff. The signal is not real strong, so you can't download a lot of stuff, but it's good enough. This is the host business. It's like a birthday shop. We sell stuff for parties. And there's the host bedroom. They have a bathroom back there. So it's big quarters here for the family. Here's the outlook here. Here's a Cuban ice cream man. They pretty much have one ice cream they sell everywhere. It's homemade, but it's not really made out of dairy. I'm not sure what it is. It's made out of like some kind of, I'm not sure what it is. ¿Cuánto cuesta el helado? ¿Me da uno, por favor? ¿Tú lo haces en la casa? Oh, cool. All right. ¿Qué está hecho?
Chocolate.
Oh, ¿y tiene helado de chocolate? ¿Está hecho con leche de vaca o no? ¿Polvo? Ah, está bueno. Hey, ¿qué vendes?
Maní.
Oh, ¿cuánto cuesta?
A 150 la barrita.
Yo quiero uno. Maní.
Sí.
¿Es con dulce?
Dulce.
Alright, so they give you about 180 pesos a dollar.
Dulce.
It's 150. So, it's about 80 cents. Oh, cool. Good. ¿Qué tiene adentro?
Maní
No más maní
y azúcar.
y azúcar. Oh, cool. Alright. Yo lo compro. Alright. Okay. Cool. ¿Tú los vendes aquí todos los días?
Sí.
Sí.
Más o menos, sí. Por aquí, para allá abajo.
This is another snack you see people selling out again. Popcorn.
Allá en Cuba hay palomitas.
¿Ah?
Palomitas.
¿Y qué tiene las palomitas? 50. So it's about 33 cents. About 30 cents. Sal y palomita?
Palomitas.
Okay, gracias. Popcorn. So, yeah, it's about 30 cents. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that's actually a lot. It's not very much. It's about a cup of popcorn. And it's pop, so 30 cents is not that cheap, especially for the people here. This is the famous boardwalk here in Havana. Overlooks the bay. And at night, you can see the castles in the distance. You can look out here and you'll see a lot of lights out in the horizon. And it's Havana, Cuba. Miami, Florida. So from Miami, you can't really see Havana because they don't have a lot of electricity here. But you can see Miami. Miami's really lit up. So at night, you're gonna see a lot of light here in the distance. It's kind of ironic how the people here, they live kind of in the shadow of Miami. There's a lot of Cubans in Miami. And the people here can look over across the bay and they can see, you know, where a lot of their family members have went. Because most people here you talk to, they have family or friends or aunts or someone just migrate to US. They'll start telling you about they're in Florida, you know, LA, New Jersey, whatever. They're somewhere. But almost everybody knows somebody that lives over there. Again, you don't see a lot of locals. I mean, you only see locals. All you see are locals walking around. You don't see a lot of tourists over here walking around. And maybe it's because they're tired. It's pretty hot and humid here. If you're not used to walking, this place kind of wears you out. You're walking around, there's these places that sell juice. Esos lugares que venden jugos frescos. And they're pretty inexpensive. This costs 40 chorizo. It's about a cup. It's freshly made coconut pineapple. Tienen jugos frescos de piña. Coco. Esto nomás cuesta como 40 pesos. Piña coladas. Okay, look at this car. You just gotta see the details. How beautiful it is. This car is from the 1950s. Look how well preserved it is. In the 1950s, you'll still see refrigerators, cars, furniture, things that existed in that time. Because in those days, things were made to the best possible quality to last forever. But then, what companies started figuring out is if we start making things cheap, they break down and people have to buy more, consume more. So they use that as a way of stimulating the economies around the world. There's a good documentary about it called The Story of Stuff. You can look it up on YouTube for free. It's great, they stimulate the economy, but the only thing is that all these old cars and refrigerators and stuff, we could use these forever, but now they're making everything out of plastic and they're making them disposable. So it's created a lot of trash and low quality products, and that's why you have all these like Hondas and Toyotas and these cars made out of plastic, and you have all these refrigerators with plastic parts instead of being all metal. And the idea is that you'll buy more so that you'll keep consuming, stimulating the economy. But this is what a real quality car looks like that would actually last forever. Look, these cars are like 80 years old and they're still on the road. So they're really nice. Look at this car, the Chevy. It's pretty sweet. ¿Es tu carro? Awesome, man. Very cool. Estos carros antiguos, como los frijadores y todo antes se hacía para durar y estaban hechos en calidad. Y eso era para que la gente comprara algo, lo tenía que comprar nomás una vez. Pero entonces figuraron las compañías que si hacían las cosas de bajo calidad, partes plásticas, fijadores de plástico, todo eso, que se descomponen, entonces la gente tiene que comprar más. Eso estimula la economía. Lo único malo es que causa mucha basura ahora, mucha contaminación en el mundo. So these cars are all from the 50s. And specifically they're from the 50s because that's when when the communist revolution started and the US started embargoing Cuba. So then we stopped exporting stuff and they pretty much got stopped in time. Básicamente son de los 50s porque eso es cuando pasó la revolución comunista con Castro y Estados Unidos decidió ya bloquear el país, ponerle un embargo y ya se quedó ahí atorado un tiempo. Ya no dejaron que importaran cosas, que hicieran como comercios, el país se quedó como empobrecido, pero tampoco pudieron como importar cosas nuevas, incluyendo carros. Y eso es porque tienen estos carros antiguos aquí y muchos se miran muy bien mantenidos. La calidad es increíble. Look at this. What's awesome is they've been able to maintain them so well, considering they don't have all the fancy like hardware and machinery and stuff that we have. This is like really well preserved. Esos pedazos costarían mucho dinero en otros países porque no se encuentran las piezas. Por eso a veces gente vienen, hacen películas acá como Fast and Furious, porque aquí hay una colección única de carros antiguos que no vas a ver por todo el mundo. You'll see this collection of cars. It's pretty much unparalleled around the world. You're not going to see this many classic cars just well preserved in one place. Okay, so I'm in my first classic car. My buddy, ¿cómo te llamas?
David.
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 David, right? Llevamos a Fusterlandia, right? This is a sweet car. ¿Qué año es tu carro?
Chevrolet de 1955.
Okay, 1955 Chevrolet. It's in pristine condition. Well, actually, it looks like there's all sorts of stuff in here. It looks pretty. And we're over here rolling to Fusterlandia. Yo y David. All right. ¿Cuánto tiempo tienes de taxista, David?
8 años.
8 años? All right, cool. So this is the bus, and it's pretty jam-packed. It costs 2 pesos. It's about less than a penny, but it's pretty jammed up. Like I can feel people's bodies pressed up against me, and you can hear everybody. You can hear everybody breathe. You hear everybody breathing. So it's like pretty hot and sweaty in here. So this is the bus. Get there in this Hemingway's house, right? Or it's not a bus. It's one of these plastic cars. It's pretty cool. There's like a bunch of people in the back. It's like an antique car here. And it's 150 pesos to get there. It's about an hour ride. Right? Yeah? 1 hora y media? Oh, cool. Look at all these cool cars rolling in. Hey. It's like a car show for the 1950s.